Hello, boys and girls. How was your night? I know this day is a chilly day, and your hands are not as flexible as usual, and so you cannot write as quick as always. And so today I would like us to begin with running on the spot, some aerobics to make you at least heat up. Are we together? So we run on the spot. You can increase That's correct. Now we do squats, a bit of squats, okay? So we can go that way, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Thank you. Before we start again, I want us to stretch. We stretch, put your legs on apart. Legs apart. You stretch. The right hand touches the left feet, and vice versa. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Clap for yourselves. Now today we are learning science. And we are continuing with soil erosion. Last time we mentioned factors that increase the rate of soil erosion. We mentioned some factors, and one of the factors was the vegetational cover, or under human activities. You know, human activities are like destruction of vegetational cover, deforestation, that's cutting down of trees, poor farming methods, and animal overstocking and overgrazing. Then the slope of the land, then the type of soil, and lack of vegetational cover, the amount of rainfall that falls on that day, and animals. Those were factors that influence the rate of erosion. Now, we also mentioned some types of soil erosion, and I would like people to remind me those types of soil erosion. Can I get some of these names of soil erosion methods? Number 1 method, yes, joy number 1, correct. Splash erosion. I will write here, splash erosion. Splash erosion. Correct. Number 2, trickster. Number 2, very well. Real erosion. Number 3, Uriah. Number 3, very good. Sheet erosion. Number 4, can I get a girl? All right. Which girl is there? Sylvia. Thank you. Gully erosion. gully erosion. Those are the 4 types of erosion. Those are the 4 types of erosion. Can somebody remind me the agents of soil erosion? The 2 major agents of soil erosion. Somebody remind me the 2 major. Yes, Timothy Masiza. Very good. Wind and water are the 2 major agents of soil erosion. Let's particularly look at splash erosion. What is splash? When you look at English, splash is also known as spatter erosion. Splash is also known as spatter erosion. This is where the raindrops fall on a bare land with a lot of force. Now, where they drop, they displace the loose soil there, and the soil is splashed out there, leaving a hole. That is splash erosion, caused by heavy rain drops. Heavy rain drops, normally on a bare land. And what is a bare land? Boys and girls, a bare land is land that does not have vegetational cover. That means there is no grass growing on that land, there are no crops on that land, and there are no trees on that land. Remember, trees have roots that form a network that holds the particles of the soil together. And so the soil is not loose. And so soil erosion cannot take place. But when the land is bare and loose, boys and girls, the drops of the rain will make holes or depressions where they fall. That is splash or spatter erosion. You can call it also called spatter. Spatter erosion. I hope you've understood the explanation of splash erosion. Now, we can demonstrate splash erosion with these 2 diagrams. You can take a tin and make holes on it, and on the bottom part of it, you make holes on it. Then you pour water in the tin. The water will flow through the holes at the bottom, and as the droplets reach the ground, they make holes on the ground like I've drawn here. I hope you are seeing this drawing very well. So this is the water in the tin. That is the tin. The holes at the bottom of the tin, and these are the droplets, the water droplets, the droplets of water. And this is the ground that is bare ground. And so the water is falling on a bare ground. Better still, boys and girls, this is like a roof of a house with iron sheets on top. When it rains, the water falls in the ridges that are found in the corrugated iron sheets. And through the ridges, the water falls along the pavement, forming holes on the ground that is along the pavement. Those holes, from those holes, there was soil that was splashed out. And so that is called splash or spatter erosion. I hope you've understood with these demonstrations and the diagrams drawn here. Boys and girls, please draw these diagrams in your exercise books. The best way of controlling splash erosion, majorly is planting cover crops. Cover crops. Cover crops, which are these cover crops? Grass is the major cover crop. When grass is planted or is let to grow on the soil, it covers the soil, preventing it from the direct droplets of the rainwater. And so it prevents splash erosion. Because it happens on a bare ground, that is prevented by planting cover crops. I hope you understand. Another way of preventing this splash erosion is by having, I think, filter strips. Now, filter strips on a gentle sloping land, filter strips can do very well. Because filter strips are strips of grasses, like that one. This is grass, and the other strip has no grass. That's why we plant, these are crops. These are crops. And so, under the filter strips, because splash erosion could eventually lead to real erosion, and so when you have the filter strips, they stop the running water from forming the rills. That's it. Let's come to type number 2, rill erosion. Rills are shallow. They are shallow. I don't know if that's the spelling of the word shallow. Channels. Shallow channels formed. These are shallow channels formed on a slope. Shallow channels formed on a slope. It is through this channel the water flows down the slope. Again, this is on a bare ground. On a bare ground without vegetational cover. Then I have drawn a diagram that would represent rills on a slope. So these are the channels. Moving water would form channels as it moves down the slope. And so those channels are the ones that we call rills. There are several ways of controlling rill erosion. Number 1 is constructing terraces. Constructing terraces. Making terraces. Yes, there are different types of terraces. We will talk about that. I will draw the terraces there. Another way of controlling rill erosion is by contour farming. Contour farming. Contour farming is another method of controlling rill erosion. And another major method of controlling rill erosion is by planting trees across the slope. Planting trees across the slope. to anchor. To anchor means to hold the soil, to anchor the soil. That's a major method. Now, let's look at terraces. They're like steps. So, you make your land into steps so that here you can plant napier, but here you can cultivate and plant crops. These are terraces across the slope. Let's look at contour farming. Contours are circular. Allow me to draw them here. Contours, so that you can make things like ridges. Yes, ridges. So that there's a depression here and there. You can plant your crops on the ridges. Those ones, we call them contours, contour farming, right? That is a method. Because reels can also be controlled by planting cover crops. That's another method, cover crops. And avoiding cultivating up and down the hill or the slope. That's another method of controlling reel erosion. Now, before we come to sheet erosion, reel erosion, because they form reels or channels, when they become deep, if the channels become deep and become large, they form what you call gully erosion. Gully erosion is demonstrated here. They are V or U-shaped valleys. V or U-shaped valleys. They are deep. And the only method of controlling gully erosion is by building gabions. Building gabions. Gabions are also known as porous dams. Porous dams. They're also known as porous dams. So you can only use gabions or porous dams in controlling gully erosion. That's the only way. You have U or V-shaped valleys, very deep on the land. Yeah, they look like rivers, deep and wide rivers. They can drown. They can carry even a building away. On such a land, we only can control it by building or constructing gabions or porous dams. Let's come to sheet erosion. Sheet erosion may not be noticed. It's uniform. Uniform. Cannot be noticed when the water is flowing down. Cannot be noticed. It's also called a landslide. It's a form of landslide. Sheet erosion is a form of landslide. How do we notice that there's sheet erosion happening on this place? Remember, it's on a very gentle slope. Very gentle slope. It's on a very gentle slope. And so you might not notice that there is an erosion taking place. We can only notice that there is erosion taking place when you see the roots of plants exposed, then you know that there is erosion that is taking place in this place. It's also a result or an effect of leaving the land bare without vegetational cover. Sheet erosion. How do you control sheet erosion? Once again, cover crops. Cover crops. Cover crops must be planted always. And afforestation. Afforestation is another method. Afforestation is another method. Planting trees where they are not planted, so that the ground is held firm, is anchored. Boys and girls. And these are the methods or the types of soil erosion now discussed in details. Boys and girls, I think and I hope you have understood for that. Is our lesson today. What have we learned? We've learned that their splash erosion is also known as spatter erosion. Maybe that one you did not know. We have learned that splash erosion can also slowly lead to real erosion. Yes? And this is on a gentle slope. Only on gentle slope does splash erosion lead to real erosion. We've learned that sheet erosion is also known as a landslide, and it occurs on a gentle slope, and it is uniform and unnoticeable. We also have learned that we can only notice that there is erosion with the exposed roots of the plants. They appear above the soil, and yet they are not aerial. And then we have learned that real erosion can eventually lead to a gully erosion. And the best method of controlling gully erosion is by building gabions or porous dams. I hope you understood, boys and girls. How was the learning today? Do you have any question? If you have, you may ask or post it on my WhatsApp. Now, I would kindly ask you to copy this in your notebooks, science notebooks. Have a lovely day. God bless you.